Hi everyone, Donna here from the Homestead Project, and in this video I'm going to go through my setup for this fabulous method of winter sowing, which is a very low effort and high payoff method of starting seeds from scratch. And they basically sit outside in little created greenhouses and germinate and grow and harden off without any effort from the gardener. So let's get looking at my setup. This is a wheelbarrow filled with moistened potting soil or seeding soil, and I just use that because it's easy to moisten the soil in there and keep it damp. Then I have a whole bunch. What I'm using this year is these water jugs that our neighbor uses to get their water in. So we just cut these around sort of the circumference of these water jugs. And then we drill holes in the bottom. You can see there, we drill holes in the bottoms. And you can see that on this one here. I'll hold this up. So you can see the bottom has a number of holes drilled in it so that there's good drainage. And around the sides as well, so that if it happens to get stuck in the rocks where we leave it, then it'll still be able to drain. And we leave the top open. Then, once I've got soil inside there, I fill it up with soil about a third of the way up, just a decent amount of soil in the bottom. And then I put the seeds in on top, and I use popsicle sticks to label everything. I often will plant a couple of different varieties of things in each one of these large size buckets or size containers. So in this one I have cilantro and lettuce, but in other ones I might have other things, combinations of things that don't look the same, so I can tell what plant is what. And then the circumference gets taped with duct tape. I just have a big roll of black duct tape. It gets taped up, and then I put it out in the sun, and I'll show you in a spot where it'll get rained on and sunny, and it just acts like its own little greenhouse there. So when I'm going through, I'll do sort of anywhere from 6 to 10 at a time, depending on how much time I have. So I kind of get everything organized ahead of time. I like to use popsicle sticks to label inside. There's some people try using markers on the outside of the buckets, but I find that I haven't found one that stayed on, and also I find the popsicle sticks inside work just fine. So I get those all ready, I label all the sticks, I decide which varieties I'm going to combine. So in this case I have one that's going to be nasturtiums and broccoli, so those plants are going to look really different. I have one that's smoky fennel and St. John's wort. I have a number of chilies that I'm planting today. And then we will show you the rest of the setup once I've got all these planted up. So here's the containers that I've winter sown so far for this season, and this batch here is a batch where I did tomatoes and a number of varieties of tomatoes, and also very hardy things like kohlrabi and kale and spinach. And if you look down in this one, these ones I planted in early February, and they've been sitting outside since. And if we look down inside this one, you can see there's actually some little plants coming up and germinating in there. So that's really exciting. But there's nothing more for me to do. We'll just leave these outside. This is another batch that I did in very early spring here, so kind of late March. And these are peppers and flowers, perennials, and other seeds that I just didn't have when I did the first batch. And they'll just sit outside now. And if it was snowy, they could sit in the snow. They endure whatever weather is out here, and they get rained on. Occasionally, I will water them. If it looks like they're getting dry inside, I just run the hose over the top and the water trickles down inside, and there's drainage holes in the bottoms, and they will grow in there. And I will have, when I untape them and open them up, I might leave them sitting open for a day or two, and then I will plant them in the garden directly, so there's no hardening off of seedlings or anything else. So it's a fabulous, easy method for a gardener who either doesn't have a ton of indoor space or just wants an easy method to start seeds themselves at home. So I hope this inspires you to give this method a try yourself at home, and we'll see you in the next video.